welcome back to the She Shoots podcast, Women Empowering Women in the Shooting Community, episode 4, Runnin and Gunnin. My name is Regina Ruiz Ordonez, and I'm from the Canadian University Shooting Federation. With me today are also Deneen Tumblin and Casey Gavanchuk from Lady Guns, as well as Kelly Melanson from Maple Seed Project, Slamfire Radio, and CCFR Women's Program. As always, I would like to take a moment to thank our amazing sponsors, Cabela's Canada Outdoor Fun, positively shaping the future of the outdoors, Savage Arms, home to the Stevens Single Shot Rifle Shotgun, Beretta, family owned and operated since 1526, Vortex, the best in optics, and Hunt Fuel Coffee Company. Fuel your hunt with Hunt Fuel Coffee. If you have any questions or comments throughout the show, make sure to leave them in the chat box below. You will be automatically entered in the giveaways for today's episode. We have 3 giveaway prizes today, coming directly from our 2 remarkable and talented guests for today's episode. I will let them tell us about what those prizes are. And before we move on, I would actually like to thank all the ladies that participated in our International Women's Day Target Challenge last month. We saw all your posts and shared through social media, and we could figure it was about 50 ladies, but I'm sure there was way more people that downloaded the targets and shot them. So thank you so much for everyone that participated. Now, without any further ado, Kelly and Deneen, can you please introduce our guests for today?
Absolutely. My pleasure. Hey, Kelly, you ready to do this?
I absolutely am.
Absolutely.
I'm looking forward to today, by the way.
I am too. I'm really excited. I kind of got all the feels every time Kelly plays that, Casey plays that opening role. I get all excited.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we've got 2 amazing folks today. And I've got the pleasure of introducing Laura. And I think you're going to introduce Amanda. So, Kelly, why don't you start us off with Amanda?
So we're very lucky to have Amanda Fisher with us today. Amanda is a competitive shooter from Alberta. She does IPSC, which is International Practical Shooting Confederation, and is what she actually is predominantly competes in. But she also dabbles in the 3-gun as well, and USPSA and also Steel Challenge. Her love and interest of firearms began in 2015 when she shot her first pistol. She took the black badge course with no interest in competing, but wanted her black badge certification, so she competed in her first IPSC competition in early 2016. Well, she was hooked after that, and the rest is history. In 2018, Amanda successfully completed the range officer course and has RO'd several major matches nationally. Her accomplishments, can't talk tonight, include top production division lady in Alberta, top production division lady in Saskatchewan, and 5th place overall in production division in Alberta, and the 5th lady in production division in Canada. Wow, that's awesome. Just hold on a second, got to scroll because she has so many with strong finishes, Amanda has been expected to represent Canada and represent Alberta, on the Alberta Gold Team and at the Canadian Nationals in 2022, and Canada at the IPSC World Shoot Championships in Thailand in November 2022.
That's
good
amazing.
For you.
Great. Excellent.
That's awesome. Sorry,
and so before we jump to Laura, Amanda, what did your sponsors give to you to give away to our viewers today?
So I have 2 sponsors. The first one is the Bullet Shop. They are a family-owned company out of Brooks, Alberta. So they are giving us 250 rounds of 160 grain 9mm loaded ammunition to give away. So awesome. You need to PAL. And then my other sponsor is JTT Projectiles, which is what the 160 grain Bullet Shop ammunition is loaded with. And so JTT is also throwing in a t-shirt.
Sweet.
That is awesome. So like Regina said, make sure to put your comments in so you can be eligible to win. But that's not all. That is not all. We've got another guest and some more prizes. So Laura, I get the pleasure of introducing Miss Laura Seitz. Laura was first introduced to firearms when she was about 12 years old by her dad and her uncle, and she just loved it. So if we flash forward to 2019, where out of the blue, her husband asked her what she thought of guns. we all know happened. Both Alberta and Saskatchewan provincials last year, and the Canadian National and the Canadian IPSC Nationals in Halifax, Nova Scotia. Laura says one of the things she enjoys about the sport is it's not gender specific and both young and old can compete. Welcome, Laura.
Thank you so much. I'm happy to be here.
We are so excited to have you. So share with us a little bit about who your sponsors are and what they're bringing for tonight's guests.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. So I've had a lot of awesome interaction and relationship with Double Tap Sports. That's in Ontario. And they will be sharing or donating a soft gun case, some DTS mole patches, and Notch and Post Customs as well. We'll be giving a mole patch. And then Lock Grips, a $50 gift certificate. That's for one package. And then for the second package, instead of all the same stuff, just instead of the soft gun case, it'll be a Double Tap Sport shirt.
Amazing. That's awesome. All the swag, and Kelly and I want to win it all, but we're not eligible.
I know. Some good stuff in there.
Right. Awesome. So what we're going to do with you ladies is Kelly and I prepared some questions, and we're going to throw questions out, and then each of you will get a chance to answer, and we're just going to roll with that and see what happens, and we'll see what kind of comments and questions we get from the viewing audience. How's that?
Sounds great.
That work for you guys? All right. So why don't we start with, tell us a little bit about your background, yourself, and we'll start with that.
Yeah.
Amanda,
sure.
Go.
Amanda, go. It's you.
A little bit about myself. I am a working mom of 2 boys and with a wonderful spouse at home, a great baby daddy is what I call him. We are a firearms family. We all like to shoot together. My oldest son does compete in IPSC with me. And I'm pretty much just a normal person. Born and raised in Halifax, Nova Scotia, so it'd be nice to go home for nationals this year. Other than that, that's pretty much me.
Awesome. I do have a question. You said that you and your son shoot together. I've seen some pictures that you've posted. How old is your son, by the way?
He's 14. He got his black badge for his 11th birthday. So awesome. He was 10 turning 11 getting his black badge.
Okay. So a mom that brings their kids into shooting. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That is cool.
Yeah.
All right. Laura, how about a little bit about your background? Tell us about you.
Yeah, for sure. So I do have an EMS background and education background, which has kind of led that piece into the safety committee with Buffalo Target Shooting Association, some safety committee stuff with IPSC as well. And the nice part about even being an EMS, it really gave me a kind of a great interactions with different people. And of course, it is a very kind of male heavy environment, we'll say. So even coming into the shooting world, there was really that connection there. And I felt quite comfortable. I mean, there's such awesome people there, right? And then of course, like I said, my husband and this is something that my husband and I get to do, right? And yeah, it's been fantastic, right? It's absolutely fantastic to be able to enjoy this sport with him and be excited about it and talk about matches after, right? So it's fantastic.
So is that why you? Sorry, but is that why you actually got into shooting and competitive shooting? Because your husband was doing it?
No, not at all. We totally decided it together. And then we ended up shooting in Vegas. We signed up for a session and both thought it was great and awesome. And we were more like, if you're doing it, I'm doing it. Like, yeah, it was a very mutual joint decided piece, right? So I'm not really much of a follower. We're the leader, right? So yeah, no, it's been awesome.
What about you, Amanda? Why did you actually get into it? I saw that you wanted to take your black badge, but it didn't really tell us why.
Why? It's empowering. Firearms are super empowering. So when I shot my first match, I don't know why I did it. I have no idea. It's because once I try something and I love it, I'm just like, I'm all in. So I have no idea what even led me to this place. It just I bumped into it accidentally, and I have a coworker that I shoot with, and it's been great. My family loves to do it too, so it's been, I don't know why. It just
Yeah.
did.
It, from what I know, I've known Amanda for a while, so you are 150% in. It's no half.
Definitely. Yeah.
No half-ass with you. So
No.
yeah.
And it definitely is that adrenaline rush too, right? Like
Yeah.
during a match, after a match, yeah, it's so fun to reflect and, you know, analyze how you did or what you felt, or sometimes maybe, you know, what you can improve on. But yeah, and the community too, right? Like I think that's what keeps me there as well, right? That community that's there is so fantastic, right? Like gals like Amanda and Deneen, right? And all these lovely ladies on here, right? That's what keeps me here for sure.
I love that you can squad up with your family, your friends, obviously your kids. You're all shooting different divisions, but you're having fun and you're doing it together. And so that's the other thing too. You don't have to pick a team. You get to squad up with kind of whomever. You don't get divvied out and all that kind of stuff that way. So I think it's cool. I think it's definitely a family for sure of its own.
For sure.
So go ahead, Gal. Our timing's awesome tonight.
I know, right? I was going to say, speaking of divisions, what types of divisions do you shoot in? So specifically for IPSC, Amanda, what division are you?
So in IPSC, I am I'm production in both IPSC and in USPSA. So I shoot a 9mm Shadow 2. It is the production division. After the World Championships, I believe I'm going to go to standard. And in my case, it's going to be a 40, but we'll see. We'll see how that goes.
You'll see? You're not sure about what you're going to get?
Yeah, no, I'm not sure yet.
Okay. All right. What about you?
Yeah.
Laura?
So me, so I actually for the 2 years I'd been shooting production, CZ Shadow 2, the same as Amanda, and love it. However, this season, well, at the end of last season, ended up getting, putting an optic on my CZ. And so I'm running an optic. So I'll be production optics for IPSC. I'll be carry optics, which is the same for USPSA. And then for USPSA / Steel Challenge, so I will shoot, like at Nationals, I'll shoot my Rimfire 22. I have a Ruger Mark IV light. And then I also have a rifle. I have a custom 22 rifle that I'll be shooting. So that's going to be super exciting. We did our first match, Steel Challenge match, just last weekend. It was freaking cold.
Yeah.
But I shot carry optics, just kind of to get that feel and that flow. But the next match I'll be shooting Rimfire, my 22's pistol and rifle. So super stoked to do that. Yeah.
That is super cool about Steel. You can shoot pistol and rifle in the same match. So
absolutely. Lots of guns, 3 back-to-back, right? It's just absolutely busy.
All the guns and all the fun. Absolutely. And you don't need to have your holster course. And I love that too. So it's a good entry level competition for new shooters.
I do have a question. So if you're shooting both the pistol and the rifle, which do you prefer? Which do you like better?
You know what? I haven't shot the rifle much with Steel, but I'm honestly leaning towards more the rifle. Just honestly because you can go the fastest with it.
Right?
Yeah, I want to go fast.
Love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, I mean, I'd ask.
9mm, okay, but no matter what, you're still just not as fast. I mean, it's still nice music, but it's just not as fast music. So
do you have an optic on your rifle, or is it?
I'm gonna put one right now. I have a nice round peep sight, but I'm almost positive I'm gonna switch everything to optics. So yeah,
it'd be interesting to get your feedback on that. Talk to me once you do that, because sometimes we find that when we do that, we just slow it down. And I'm just totally taking us into a different direction. So we'll bring it. But talk to me later.
For sure.
We're going to have a bunch of offline conversations about new builds. That sounds great. Awesome. Fantastic. Okay, well, back to shooting. Yeah. When you ladies are shooting, are you building your own ammo, or are you taking factory loads? What's your preference? Yeah, I know this, Amanda, because you post all the.
You know, like who can afford factory loads right now?
Or who can find them? That's the other thing, right?
Who can find components even?
Anything.
Yeah, who can find anything? So it's like the black market. Like, can we? Like, do you guys have an in? Do you guys have an in? Because,
She Shoots is going a whole new way now.
I load my own ammo. I use a Dillon 650 XL, the blue machine. And of course, using my JTT projectiles and black sheep brass I was using. And yeah, it is the cheapest way to do it when you're shooting this amount of bullets in a year.
Laura, how about you?
100%. Yeah, so my husband does all the reloading. We have 3 presses. My husband was shooting 40 for a bit, so he didn't like changing everything. But yeah, 100%. Again, with 2 of us, we do shoot a lot. I mean, we dry fire a lot, but we also shoot a lot. So especially with a steel challenge match, right? Like, you know, you're easily shooting 200, and if you really suck, you're shooting a lot more. So
Right.
it's, yeah, like it can eat a lot of ammo up, right? So 100%. And then the other nice piece about reloading is you can really dial in your load. So I used to shoot 124 projectile, and now 147 JTT is what we both shoot, and love it, right? So Devin will take them out, we'll chrono them, make sure that we're meeting power factor. And then for steel challenge, right? Sometimes, you know, whether you want to drop down to a 115 or 124, anyways, you can really tailor, you know, your loads to what you're going to shoot. And that's the beauty part of it, right?
Sure. And what are you finding the difference is between those 115, 124 and higher on the projectiles?
Yeah,
Are you finding less wobble?
for sure.
Or
Yeah, so the reason that we did switch, so yeah, when we first started shooting, we were definitely shooting 124. And the recoil for me was definitely more of a kick, whereas that 147 can be a little lighter, less of that recoil, just a little smoother. And I like that, right? Like, I mean, grip, recoil control, all of those pieces, those are fundamentals. And I have noticed a huge difference, right? I love 147. So
that's fantastic. Excellent. Now everybody knows what the secret sauce is for the ladies when they're shooting IPSC. So
yeah.
And I do see that Megan has a question there. So yes, Megan, I do own my own reloading machine.
Ah, yes. Then the
Yep.
good
you
catch, Amanda.
You do it yourself.
Yes,
I get my
I
husband
reload it myself. Unlike Laura, who slaves her husband. I am too much of a control freak to let mine run the Dillon. I only load my ammo. Nobody else loads my ammo.
It's actually a good policy.
Yeah.
Just
that
like
way
cleaning your own guns, right?
Yeah,
Right,
exactly.
Exactly.
Yeah, good policy.
No one's touching my gun.
Don't touch my gun. All right.
Awesome. Well, I've got something to look forward to. I've got 2,500 pieces of brass ready to clean, so I know what I'm going to be doing in the next little while.
Sweet. So there is another question as well. Megan wants to know if ladies are competing in the provincial IPSC championships coming up. I think, Amanda, you are already, correct?
Yes, I'm doing Alberta and Saskatchewan provincials this year.
What about you, Laura?
Yeah, absolutely. It's at my other home range, Kananaskis, Buffalo Target Shooting Association, and I'm one of the leads, just gathering all the sponsors and all that kind of fun stuff. So that's been an experience in itself, and I'm amazed, like, you know, just the economy and everything, but we still have such generous people, right? Like it's wonderful. It's wonderful to see. So yeah. Absolutely. It'll be a blast. The match is like full.
It
2 minutes.
fills up
It took
in
2
minutes.
minutes.
Yeah.
I was just going to say, yeah.
All of them do.
Alberta.
They
do.
Less than 2 minutes. It's great.
Yeah,
So,
even our matches, everything. Yeah, it's a hot commodity.
Yeah.
It is. A lot of people don't know you can just go out and watch. So if people are interested in what happens during those, you can go up and you can watch those matches. So
Yeah. It's really interesting
Absolutely.
to go and do that. You can watch, you can see how the competitors prepare for a stage, see some of the top competitors, the difference between their stage planning and some of the mediocre.
No.
Yeah.
But yeah, there definitely is a difference. I call it the dance. Like, people do different dances, right? Some are kind of trippy and
Yeah.
whatever, and some just flow beautifully. Yeah, it's
Mhm.
amazing to watch, actually.
it is true.
Oh.
It is true. So you mentioned your home club. Your other home club is BTSA. Obviously, both you ladies have home clubs, and that's where you probably do a bunch of your practicing. So Laura, what's your other home club?
Yeah, so Okotoks Rifle and Pistol Club, and they like it's kind of been, I'll say, the game changer. It's been awesome that I've switched to production optics. And like I said, well, I dry fire. Even in the winter, we still will go out to Okotoks Range in the winter, right? It's like 5 minutes from my house to be able to kind of just test what I've been practicing, right? Whereas BTSA from my place is an hour and a half away, right? So a bit more of a drive. So it's, yeah, I feel so honored that they let us go in and use the club so often, right? Like it's been brilliant. It's been so awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It keeps those fundamentals sharp in the winter when you've got the opportunity. Yeah.
Yeah, and you're not freezing your butt off right outside. So we did a lot of videoing, and that was the piece of right recoil control and grip and all these pieces. So we could, kind of do that self-analysis, and doing it indoors 10 times easier than freezing your butt outside.
That's
Very
a really
cool.
good tip as well. Video you tape yourself, or have somebody else videotape you, and then break it down and analyze
We
it.
do a tripod.
Yeah.
Tripod works well. Yeah, self-analysis for sure.
Yeah.
It's amazing when you think you're doing something and then you watch a video and you're like, oh, that is not at all what I'm doing. I'm doing something different or what have you. So yeah, the tail's in the tape, I think they used to say, right? So that's right. Amanda, how about your home club? Where do you shoot?
My home club is Drayton Valley. Here we have a small outdoor range, Evergreen Gun Club, and we are not blessed with an indoor club. I don't know where the closest one. Edmonton, so 2 hours away, is my closest indoor club, and I'm not a member there. So I am a fair weather shooter, and they don't plow our range, so I don't do a whole lot of shooting in the winter time, and it shows. But yeah, Evergreen Gun Club.
Well, that segues into a great question I have for you. What do you do for training? How do you practice, especially if your range is closed or if you don't have an indoor range? And I know Alberta's significantly colder than my area. So what are you guys doing? What's your practice routine look like?
Mine's not near as what it should be. When I first started out, I was dry firing every day. I was down to the range, even in the minus 20s. I have memories coming up on my Facebook. Oh, look, it's minus 20, and here I am at the range. And now I'm like, oh, it's like 0, and I'm not going out there. Because I'm doing school from November to May, I focus a lot on my school on my during the winter time. So I just do a little bit of dry fire, and this year I went down to Florida. So before I went down to Florida, I went down to Tabor to their indoor range and shot a little bit there. So just dry fire, not a whole lot of outdoor or live fire shooting.
Okay. Do you ramp up when the season starts though?
Gotcha. So now that my schooling is just about done, I will be doing twice a week live fire, and the rest of the days are going to be dry fire.
Okay. What about you, Laura?
Yeah. So, I mean, it was interesting. Actually, I know when we first started, we would talk about dry fire to people, and then someone would say, well, make sure you do it right. And you're like, well, what's right? And there's an interesting piece there of, there are, mentors and trainers and instructors and all that. You do need to kind of guide yourself. So this season, so when we were done in, we'll say October, I actually continued with the kind of the physical aspect of it more. So like workouts, So 3 times a week, like cardio, leg stuff. I had an injury kind of the season before, so I wanted to kind of make sure I strengthened and stretched and hamstrings and kind of all that fun stuff. So I wanted to be preventative. So I've been able to kind of maintain that even up to today, which has been great. And then the other piece is honestly watching like YouTube videos, different exercises. So even like wrist exercises, different pieces like that. Honestly, going to physio because either dry firing and whatnot, you end up with some tendonitis. So like really trying to prevent that stuff. And then in there, kind of there's that like little bit of weeks off, recuperate, have a normal life, and then start to add in, I have a little calendar downstairs, and it helps to make me, I think, more accountable. So I write it down that, 3 times a week in this month, I'm going to dry fire. And then the next month, and as we come to now, right, like I'm dry firing at least 5 times a week and we'll live fire at least once a week. Okay. But yeah, I just, again, that calendar kind of, I'm a very detail oriented planning kind of person. So yeah, I like to kind of write it down, see what I've accomplished and kind of go from there. It seems to really help.
So I have a question about dry fire and then live fire. I know personally I have a dry fire list of things that I like to go through, and then when I'm running live, the same thing, and I work on through fundamentals and different things. Do you guys have little programs that you use for those practice sessions, and how do you kind of ramp up to go time through those practice sessions?
Well, for me, I focus on the things that I'm really poor at. I focus a lot on the fundamentals, grip, trigger control, something as simple as doing transitions from one target to the next. Like those simple things that you can do at home in dry fire, I tend to focus a lot on. For a live fire, for me, I try to focus on the things that I either hate doing or I suck at doing, which go hand in hand because I hate them because I suck at them. One-handed shooting, strong hand, weak hand, especially weak hands, swingers, any type of moving targets, steel targets, distance targets. So I really try to focus on the things that I suck at and the things that I hate, so that way I can advance those skills to something that's better. Movement for me is something that I'm going to really focus on this year. I am a relatively accurate shooter, but I'm so slow. I am that alpha hunter, so it slows me down. So I need to work on my trigger control, and I also need to work on my movement. So that is going to be my focus primarily this season.
So train with a purpose.
You betcha.
Mm-hmm. That's what I encourage as well. And I like the fact that you said the stuff that you suck at is what you really need to actually work on. Because people ask me all the time saying, what should I work on? And my question to them is, what didn't you like? Well, I didn't like this. Well, why didn't you like it? Because I sucked at it. Exactly. So that's what you should be doing.
Yeah. Unless you want to have a feel-good practice, then just do everything you're really good at.
And you know what? Every once in a while, we do have to have a feel-good anyways. What about you, Laura?
Absolutely. Yeah, it's very similar concepts, right? So a good learning moment for me, and I'll say my husband Devin, is so strong hand weekend, right? Those are things that we like to avoid. Nobody wants them in a match. However, though, right, when you think about it, so we're going to be MDs for a June match in BTSA, so we're kind of, right, you're thinking of the big picture, and so, right, some of those things might be there, and you're kind of like, okay, if I don't like it, I don't like it because maybe I'm not great. I need to get better. So I really focused for a couple weeks in dry fire on strong hand weekend, because when I had done it before in live fire, I was like, that is not good. Like that was not good. So I knew I needed to work on it. So I did that for a couple of weeks, and then we went out to BTSA. And so we had this stage set up, some full sill, IPSC targets, popper, and then one with a no shoot, a little bit of alpha showing. And my husband is like, we are not doing that strong hand weekend. I'm like, yes, we are. So we'd already done it. And then, so here we go. So right hand, And he's like, well, I'm like, that was pretty good. Like, I felt proud of myself. And he's like, okay, well, we can't do it weekend. And I'm like, yes, we can. So do it. And then he did it. And he's like, okay, that wasn't so bad. He goes, but I felt like I did a little bit better than him. So that was that aha moment for me and for him, saying, I said, I put in the work. I did dry firing. I put in the work and I kicked your butt. Okay, I might have said that right. I'm trying to tame it down a bit, but I totally
It's okay. It's recorded forevermore,
Yeah.
Laura, just so you know.
Thank you. He can
Kicked
listen
his
to
butt.
that.
That's right. Send him
But yeah,
YouTube.
so totally. But that I love that concept, because that is so true. If we do want to shy away from things, then I do like to go for them. If I'm scared of it, let's do it. Yeah.
That's exactly it. Just go do it. And then you can also see how you do. And then my typical thing is I'll shoot it and I'm going, that didn't go as well as I thought again. Let's do it again. Let's do it again. And then, like you said, it was something that is a proud moment for you, because you can see how much effort and training you put into it has resulted.
Yeah, for sure. And then even that, right? The videotaping. So we have a tripod, we'll videotape. Someone had a question there that popped up about, coaching and whatnot. I have to say that, like, you can watch videos. There's like the Practical Shooting group. There's like Wansick and Ben Stoger and that. And I have a book of theirs, and I really like it, and I follow a lot of the concepts of it. But things like that, right? So you can sign up for that monthly subscription. I almost said prescription, subscription, and kind of learn a lot from there. But no matter what, that self-analysis is a huge piece. I saw Doug had said something about that too. Self-analysis. But yeah, really honing in on that. And so you in a sense become your own coach, or the person that you shoot with can notice different things that you're doing. And share feedback with you. So, you don't have to deal out the dollar bills to have some big coach. But still training with someone who is willing to share some good feedback with you, and then yourself willing to take the time to review the video, right? A lot of the top shooters, the video cam, have other people, and they go through those videos, right? Bit by bit by bit, analyzing what they've done. Super helpful.
Just like I go through all of your posts, Laura, bit by bit, and I see she had a great.
You're like, oh, that looks good.
Yeah, that draw, that was fantastic. Look at that reload. Yeah, no, it's fantastic. So, so you guys are talking about all this practice, and we've talked about some of the great shoots you're going to go to. What are some of your big goals for this year, and maybe some of your big, hairy, audacious goals? What are those big ones further down? Share with us. Do tell.
Yes.
Do you want me to go?
Yeah, sure, Amanda.
Go ahead, Amanda.
My big goals for this year, I actually have really big goals this year. So I was lucky enough to make the gold team for production for IPSC Alberta. Yay! So I will be shooting on the gold team for the Canadian Nationals. So now I have to train harder than ever. That is quite a spot to be in. So that is my one goal. I hope to bring home the gold. Fingers crossed. There's a team of 4 of us that all get to contribute. So we'll see where that goes. And then Thailand. So Thailand was supposed to be November of last year. Actually, it was supposed to be 2020. Then it got bumped to 2021. Now it's 2022. So the World Shoot. Again, you need to qualify in order to get to the World Shoot, and you need to have so many nationals to be able to get there, and a whole bunch of stuff. But it's like that has been a goal of mine since I started, and now I get to go and shoot against the world's best. What a privilege! I'm so excited.
That's exciting news.
Yeah.
I do want to ask you about the gold team though. How were you selected for that?
So how that's selected is so out of the calendar year, it is the your top 6 matches. So it's 10% of your top 6 matches plus 40% of your provincial championship score, right?
Okay.
Yes. So that makes up 100% of your score, and then you're ranked in your division based on those
Yeah,
thing.
kind of those
Those
calculations,
places.
right? For
Yeah,
sure.
those
Calculations.
Yeah. So based on those calculations, you're ranked top 1, 2, 3, 4. So I
Okay.
got to be the 4th spot.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. Congratulations.
Thanks.
That is super cool. I again, another probably offline chat, but magazine capacity that must come into play
Mhm.
when you're dealing with international shoots, right? Because
Yes.
we're kind of Canadianized there. So
Yes, we are definitely Canadianized, but it is 10 rounds. So it'll be 10 rounds for everybody.
For
I'm
everyone.
pretty
oh,
sure.
good.
Oh,
Good,
okay.
good.
Yeah, in USPSA, it's different when you go down to the States.
Of
In
course,
USPSA in Canada, you're still limited to limited.
you just borrow your friend's mags down there and top up,
That's
right?
right. That's right.
There is one positive out of that. You get really good at make changes better
Yes,
than some of the other competitors. Just saying.
So true.
Yeah.
So true.
You do more of them.
Absolutely.
better
So
at it.
Laura, what about your goals?
Yeah, so for me is so I'll be starting, like I said, in production optics for IPSC. So I'm unclassified. I don't have a class, kind of master, grandmaster, ABCD. I have nothing right now. So my goal is to shoot and at least be at the B. I'm always shooting for higher. That will come in time. So yeah, I mean, I a lot of people, when you start, either you start kind of at that D or C. I want to jump right to that B right away and then keep progressing from there.
Yeah.
So that's with IPSC, and then with Steel Challenge. My goal this year with Steel Nationals is to get high lady. Hence why the rifle.
Yeah.
So I want to go fast, and I want to get high lady, and then in rimfire pistol, I want to try for top 5. That's my goal. I was 7th last year in rimfire pistol, and I think 9th in I almost said carry optics in production. So yeah, I just want to increase my standings there. That's the goal.
Really
Excellent.
obtainable goals,
Yeah,
but excellent goals.
Excellent goals. Both of you guys, and best of luck on achieving those goals. Go for it, right? So
thank you.
That's fantastic, and hopefully we'll all get to see each other out on a match sometime soon. We'll see what happens, right? Absolutely.
I feel like I'm at a disadvantage. You're all in Alberta.
We are. Yeah.
But Kelly, if it makes you feel any better, they're like 3-4 hours away from me. So
yeah.
Yeah.
You could almost fly here in the same time Amanda could drive here. Just saying. Yeah.
That is totally possible. I am coming out to Alberta this year, though.
There you go.
There you go.
Sounds like a shoot day.
Yeah.
Sounds like a shoot day. So speaking of all this traveling.
Yeah.
Kelly,
Well, speaking of traveling, where have you all been? What is your experience? I know that there's a couple of traveling plans for Amanda in the future, but where have you been previously?
For me, where have I been? So I've been obviously Alberta, Saskatchewan, Manitoba, Nova Scotia, New Brunswick, Quebec. This year I did my first international match in Florida. I was quickly humbled there. But it was quite an experience to fly internationally with a firearm. So this year, obviously, I'll be going back to Nova Scotia, Saskatchewan, and Thailand.
Amazing. What about you? What about you, Laura? Where have you been?
We'll just go with Amanda's. So basically,
same thing.
Especially because of COVID. So the plan initially was to actually do more USPSA right away to go to the US, but of course that got squashed. So I've been to Saskatchewan, and really that's it with my firearm. And then we'll fly to Nova Scotia, which it completely makes me nervous, but we'll figure it out. And then the plans to do more. We do like to travel to the US a lot with our RV into Vegas. So to be able to shoot some matches, even just in Montana, right? Jump over the border and do some matches there, Steel Challenge and that. So not as extensive as Miss Amanda.
So
I'm going to another match in Florida in January. You should come.
I know. We would like to.
Like
everybody, let's go.
Okay.
Everybody
January in Florida. All right.
Sounds like a plan. Put that in my calendar.
Okay. Podcast from Florida.
Awesome.
Hey, we talked about that.
We did. Where can we do a remote podcast from?
Florida. Yeah.
That's right.
What about, so you have had some shooting experiences across the country and into the US and all that. What was your favorite? What was your favorite competition so far?
Wow.
Yeah,
Deafening
I just threw
silence.
that at you. They're going, I don't know.
That's a
It's
good-
okay to have a favorite.
You know, I really liked the weather in Florida in February. So like that's why
Counts.
it's there. But one of my favorite matches was probably New Brunswick SummerSlam.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Slam in New Brunswick. Oh my goodness. The creativity, shooting on a boat, shooting in a school bus, shooting in tractor trailers. I watched somebody biff it in a school bus and like belly slide from one end to the other. That was
Yeah.
highlight. So SummerSlam. Like what Laura, you need to go. Like it is a stellar match. Great.
yeah, that sounds so fun.
Think
Oh.
I'm letting the cat out of the bag. It looks like they're going to do it again this year. It's going to start up again.
I know. I'm so excited. I've
Yeah.
seen it, and I hope that they coincide it with nationals, maybe the weekend before or the weekend after, because that would be super sweet.
It usually is. So
Yeah.
What about you, Laura? Favorite experience? Favorite match?
Yeah, I mean, in the last 2 years, it's been pretty sheltered with COVID. But I mean, when BTSA had their jungle run, I really loved doing the jungle run. Right, literally running through trees and up hills and all that. Those were always my favorite. But yeah, and then for me, probably like National Steel Challenge last year. I'd never shot in a big match like that, and got to RO and everything else. So that was pretty fun for me. It was nerve wracking. I was being tested constantly by the RM the weeks before and that, but yeah, lots of fun. I love I don't know. Again, you're scared of it. I'm going to go towards it. Right. So yeah, it's good. It's fun. The things that are challenging. Right. So that's what I liked.
So speaking of challenging, we've talked about learning, we've talked about practice. Do you ladies have any mentors or particular instructors that you've worked with that you want to give a shout out to, but also somebody that you might recommend that puts on courses that other upcoming IPSC shooters or Steel Challenge shooters might like to spend time with?
I've taken a bit of training. I've taken from the world champion Ben Stoger. I've taken it from John DeZerka, who is our standard champion. Scott Penner. He used to shoot lots of IPSC, and so do I have one mentor? Not necessarily. I think everybody has a potential of being a mentor. So I've been technically shooting in the competitive side for longer than Laura, but during the Steel Challenge Nationals last year, it was my first Steel match, and for whatever reason, I decided to go into the Nationals. And so Laura was my mentor there. Yes, I've been shooting longer, but she mentored me during the entire thing. We squatted together. She walked me through every single thing, the nerves, everything. So I don't really have one specific mentor, but it's the people that you shoot with, the community. Like everybody is, they all have helpful advice. They all have their experience that they share with you. So one person, no, it's everybody.
Yeah, that's 100% right.
Yeah.
People have different pieces that they can offer you at different times.
That's right.
Yeah, so very true. Yeah, that's very true.
And I find depending where you are in your skills, different pieces of information mean more at different times for you as well, because you can apply them differently as you go along. So
yeah, I was shooting for 5 months when I took Ben's training. Like, why would you take world champion training after shoot? Like, you should at least have some skill before you do that. And like, I know this now.
Actually, it's not a bad idea, because you can, the stuff that he's going to be teaching you,
This is true.
He can mold you, and you don't have those things coming into it. So I think that's a brilliant idea.
Well, and it's opportunity, right? Like, it's
Yeah.
not like he comes here all the time, and that
Yeah.
was an opportunity for you to take
Yeah.
training, right? So
Mhm.
Yeah.
Take what's presented. Canada doesn't have a lot of it, by the way, so take it when you can,
yeah,
or
absolutely.
travel if you can travel
Yeah.
down to the U.S. as well.
There are a
what?
few good courses down not too far south of the border. You don't have to travel too terribly far away, but you do have to get across the border. But
Yeah,
but yeah,
it's not that bad to get across the border, though,
No, it's
especially
not.
with firearms. It's harder
Yeah.
to get across Canada.
it's harder to get home.
Weirdly enough. Anyways, but let's talk about your sponsors. Now, you talked about it a little bit at the beginning of the show, but who are your sponsors again? And do you want to talk a little bit how you specifically work with them, or how do they sponsor you? Laura, why don't we talk about you first?
Yeah, so Double Tap Sports in Ontario. So Yosko is the owner, and Mav is the guru as well, and amazing customer service. Really, just from gear, parts, kind of stuff like that. Grips, lock grips, kind of all that fun stuff. So yeah, just lots of helpful and a lot of their open a package, and I have my awesome little extra small double tap vest in there, right, which is like, oh, Christmas. So yeah, it's I love wearing their stuff. Great, practical, fits me, right, which is, I'm tiny.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah, so and like I said, just great support all around. And then Notch and Post, great guy Kent, again from Ontario. So they Cerakoted my double tap base pads, which Double Tap had also given me, in a beautiful Nova gun candy. It's a purple and it's a little sparkly. So, and then I have lock grips, and then they have like a purple CZ shadow on them in words, purple. And then the top of my slide is also kind of done. So I call it a fashionable firearm. So that's them. And then Lock Grips also sponsors us with literally lock grips, right? So I have lock grips on both of my CZ Shadow 2s. I have my backup, and then also on my Ruger Mark IV, I have some bright red grips as well. So yeah, so I'm always amazed when people are willing to, help you out and support you. You feel so lucky, right? And very thankful. So yes, so I do always want to thank them publicly, social media, all that for all of their support. So yes,
Amazing
thanks for the
companies as
opportunity.
well. So really, really good companies. What about you, Amanda? Yeah. Who are your sponsors? How do they sponsor you? How do you work with them?
So JTT projectiles, obviously they're projectiles. So I am a dealer for JTT projectiles. So a portion of my sales get to go back to me, and which I put towards my own projectiles, or my travel costs, or any other components that I need. Yeah. So they have been excellent. And they also provide my projectiles to the Bullet Shop. So the Bullet Shop is my other sponsor. I love them also. Great, great, great people. Do lots for the sport, lots for the industry. Ed and Colleen Piper with the Bullet Shop. So they supply my match ammunition. And it was originally IPSC matches, and they supplied it for my USPSA match. They supplied it for my Steel Challenge match. Like, they supply all of my pistol ammunition. They flew down to Florida with me. They brought my ammunition to Florida for me. Like, wow. They go above and beyond. I am so blessed to have an ammo sponsor. I don't know if I'd be shooting as much as I do without them. Great, great people. It's wonderful.
Great sponsorship as well. That's amazing.
Oh yeah,
it's really amazing right now.
It's so different in Canada for Canadian shooters than American shooters or elsewhere. So you guys are fortunate and lucky, and I'm super excited to see that we have industry players that step up and sponsor great lady shooters. So that's fantastic. Yeah. And speaking of great lady shooters, I think we should kind of pivot the conversation a little bit in our last few minutes about women in shooting sports. Is that okay?
So, of course.
So how is it for you guys? What's your experience with other women other than each other? We know there's a great love between you guys and a great support, but what is it like out there in IPSC these days? Are there lots of women, and what's it like with the other women in the squads and competitors?
When I first started, there was a few ladies, and over the years, the amount of ladies getting involved in the sport has been growing. I don't know if you'd believe it unless you've seen it, but we are all super supportive of each other. We all build each other up. We don't tear each other down. Of course, we'll get our digs into each other all out of fun and sport, but the ladies are phenomenal. It is it's just like you guys. Like, as we're here, we build each other up on the podcast, but it's no different than being on the range. We help each other through things, mentally, emotionally, physically. It doesn't matter. We're always there. You said it earlier, Deneen, that it's like we're a big family. We are most definitely like a big family, and like, I'm super blessed to have all these ladies around me, and yeah, it's great.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's I mean, for me, I came in the 2 years ago, and like I had mentioned with EMS, it doesn't really faze me that the majority of competitors are men. It sounds like there is a larger group, it sounds like, of women competitors in Alberta than, say, Saskatchewan or maybe Manitoba. I know we definitely noticed that when we did Saskatchewan provincials, right? Like, I think there was 4 of us. But then when I look this year, like, I think there's like 12 women signed up, right? So
I think they're all from Alberta.
yeah.
Okay, come on, Saskatchewan.
Yeah. So, but I mean, that's okay, because there was only 2 of us last year, right? So, I mean, maybe COVID has kind of messed that up a bit anyways, in my experience with shooting and IPSC and whatnot, because really when I've been shooting, it's been all through COVID stuff, right? So, but yeah, I mean, that's the fun thing, right? Like, you're on a squad, whether it's someone who's older, younger, whomever. The nice part is the idea is not to drag anyone down, whether you're a man or a woman, right? And I guess that kind of ends up being my perspective most of the time, is we're just all people doing a sport that we love. And I don't care whether you're, a woman, man, old, young, green, yellow, blue, whatever. We're just here to have fun.
Yeah.
Totally.
And I think that the stuff that we're doing currently right now, like you ladies coming on and talking about this, having the She Shoots podcast. I know that things like Amanda participated in the Gunnin Girl calendar. She's one of our first, by the way, through the CCFR, having ladies' days and all this. I think that you're going to continue to see women getting into the sport. And I think, Laura, you're absolutely correct. With COVID, it's impacted, like, for example, black badges and those running. But now that, can I knock on wood? We're up and running. Maybe that'll change a little bit, but even just one more lady at a competition, or 2 more ladies, and everything that we're doing, I think that'll have a positive effect on it as well.
And
Absolutely.
Kelly, I do want to add that Laura said that she's quite comfortable being in a male-dominated sport. I'm paraphrasing and putting words in your mouth, Laura. But I'm also the same. I'm also really comfortable around men and women. So it was easy for me to jump into something like IPSC. However, I want to encourage all ladies to come, even if you're not comfortable around men initially. The community is so welcoming that it's like we're all just people. It's not men and women or his and hers. It's not that. We're all. It's so inclusive that it's great and welcoming. And we do have lots of ladies' days for the ladies that are a little bit intimidated by having lots of men to watch or whatever their thoughts are. But yeah, I encourage women to come to an IPSC shoot or whatever.
Yeah.
I always say oh, sorry, Laura. I was just going to say, I always say that guns are not pink or blue, they're black, but in Laura's case, they're purple. So
yeah, exactly. fashionable firearm.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
that is the nice thing, kind of around Canada. And I mean, I can more speak from Alberta. BTSA has, they call it an Annie Oakley Day in August. We have lady guns, right? From the shooting center, the shooting edge, right? Those are offered on social media and you can sign up, right? So I love that there's opportunities there for women to kind of just get their foot in the door and then have more of a one-on-one conversation with people and get comfortable, right? I think that really helps.
Yeah. Ooh, any more recommendations on, like, we do have a lot of ladies that are listening that are just new into it. Any more recommendations on how they can get more involved or become the next Laura or the next Amanda? Go to Thailand in November.
Jump in both feet. Don't look back.
Yeah, that's the thing is if you want to do it, I think, find a friend, right? Lady guns, whatever it may be, wherever you are in Canada, just kind of take that leap and do that with a friend, your husband, whomever, a girlfriend.
Yeah.
Like, just do it. Sounds like a Nike commercial.
Yeah,
that's funny. So we're gonna have those shirts ready. I don't know that we're gonna have extra larges, but Lady Guns will have the I Shoot Like a Girl shirts shortly. So whoever asked that, go frenzy. Thanks. That's awesome.
All right. So
all right, I think we got to the end of our questions.
I think so. Yeah. So
okay. So are we ready to give out some prizes now? Yeah.
But before we do that, I just want to thank Amanda and Laura very much for taking on all those questions and being so open and honest and inviting. Yeah. So thank you very much. Before we give stuff away, right? I just want to say thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Yes, thank you so much for having us.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Thanks for coming and thanks for the amazing prizes we get to give out now. So how about we start with the ones from Laura? So Casey, can you do the honors? Drop some names for us.
Would be good if I unmuted myself.
Yeah.
So the first one is the Lock Grips $50 gift certificate, the soft gun case, mole patch, and the from DTS and Ocean Post. And your first winner is Doug Ronbush.
Doug! Congratulations, Doug!
What you miss? You didn't miss this. Came
right?
Back just in time.
He goes and takes the dog for a walk and comes back and wins a prize. So, yeah.
All right, and then the second prize was the $50 gift certificate for Lock Grips, Notch and Post mole patch, DTS mole patch, and the DTS shirt. And that goes to Alex.
Yay!
Alex.
Congrats, Alex.
So for Alex, because you're participating on YouTube, I am going to need you to send me an email. Just because YouTube does not let me send messages. So if you stay on, if you can send me an email, casey@ladyguns.ca, I will get that sent out to you. And then our
drum roll for the ammo. Drum roll for the ammo.
Now, just a reminder, everybody, they gotta have a drum.
What Casey put up on the screen, she got it.
So our third prize pack winner is
Say Deneen.
Megan.
Could win.
Megan Proctor.
Oh, Megan!
Congratulations. Okay, that's awesome. Congratulations to all our winners. So if you're on Facebook, Casey will get in touch with you. If you're on YouTube, just make sure you email Casey to get all your information so we can send out the prizes to you. So once again, congratulations to everyone, and thank you to Laura and Amanda and their amazing sponsors for all those prizes. Okay, so let's move on to upcoming events. So for the CUSF, starting April 18th to May 2nd, the CUSF will be hosting their National Shotgun Tournament. You do need to be a member of the CUSF to participate. Disciplines are skeet and trap. You can sign up for one or both. You can shoot at any trap or skeet range in your area. Top 3 places get a trophy, and everyone that submitted their scores will be entered into a draw to win a Stevens over-under shotgun. To get more information and see all the rules to enter, go to the CUSF website, cusf.ca/programs. So let's go ahead for Maple Seed. Kelly, any Maple Seed?
Well, we have a lot of them happening over the next little while. So there's some that are sold out. There's some that are still have positions available. Go to mapleseedrifleman.com if you'd like to sign up. There's links there. They're all across the country. For those provinces that do not have shoots yet, those would be BC, as well as Atlantic Canada. I think we just released Atlantic Canada recently. Saskatchewan is up. Manitoba, we're just about to post as well. But Ontario, we have so many events, and Alberta, so many events, so it'd take too long to go through them. But have a look. If you would like your club to have a Project Maple Seed event at your club, send it me an email at info@mapleseedrifleman.com. Just let me know, and we'll see if we can facilitate that as well. The other thing is some of our events, I've scheduled events for Ontario already for QSIF. So those are going out to the clubs. They should have already gone out to some of the clubs, and then Alberta as well. So, and Saskatchewan, we're looking at incorporating Saskatchewan this year as well. So anybody who's a QSIF member, watch for those.
Okay, that's awesome. Deneen, anything coming up from Lady Guns? I know there is.
We're not doing anything these days. Yeah. All right. I'll try and make this quick. So as mentioned, we have ladies' nights every 2 weeks, and they rotate between the Shooting Edge and the Calgary Shooting Center in Calgary. They're open for anyone, and we have some fabulous guest ROs like Laura, Amanda. Drive down 3.5 or 4 hours and come visit us. That would be great. And in fact, maybe you can meet us in Red Deer, because we just added the Red Deer Ladies' Night. So we're going to have that in May. Yay! At the Red Deer Shooting Center. So we have those going on. We've got great women coming out and lots of first timers. And this Thursday, I've got a mother-daughter team coming, and the daughter is a tween. So I'm very excited about that one. So we are partnering with Rimfire Nation this year to bring you some ladies-only Rimfire days, both in Kamloops in July and one in Alberta, range to be determined in August. Casey and I are working with her new home clubs in Kamloops to do a ladies shotgun day and a ladies range day across the road with some pistols and rifles in July. We're working on a few fishing adventures and a horseback adventure in the Rocky Mountains. So stay tuned. Anything that you want to know about those activities will be posted on ladyguns.ca, and that's where the registration will be as well.
Wow, you guys are busy.
Yeah, that's awesome. I'll definitely be looking forward to the horseback riding one. Mm-hmm. I know I missed it the first time you did it, so I have to get on
Adventure Day. There are no guns involved on horseback, by the way, just to be clear.
Makes sense.
Before it, we do shoot over the lunch hour, but we don't shoot while on the horses. So just to be clear.
No, that's good. No, that's awesome. So, yep, looking forward to all of that. So since we got all through it, I'll just go ahead and thank our sponsors one more time. So thank you to Cabela's Canada Outdoor Fund, Savage Arms, Beretta, Vortex, and Hunt Fuel Company. If you like today's episode, please leave us a like and follow us so that you don't miss out on any of our episodes. If you liked our message and would like to learn more about our programs, check out our websites at cusf.ca, ladyguns.ca, and mapleseedrifleman.com. To support us and get some additional perks, check out our membership programs. Thank you all for tuning into the She Shoots podcast, episode 4, Runnin and Gunnin. We will see you all again on May 10th for episode 5, Long Shot Ladies, where we'll be chat with Lauren Stroud. She's a long range specialist sponsored by KDEX Defense and is the first female ever to shoot 3 miles. Thank you and good night.
Thank you.